First of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Marty Borchers. I am District Chair for Old Sycamore District, which consists of Mercer and Auglaize County. They asked me to give just a little bit of a presentation guiding through an FOS presentation, which is a Friends of Scouting. Every unit is asked to do a Friends of Scouting presentation, and what we do is we incorporate, this is part of the main finances that come to our council. So for you people who have done this before, hopefully maybe you can pick up some tips to enlighten or make your presentation just that little bit better. And for those that have never done this presentation before, I hope this makes you more comfortable to be able to give a presentation. We're all in scouting for a reason, and that reason is those boys, and also the communities around us and how it affects them by having a scouting unit in their community. So I'm going to kind of go in and out of doing a presentation. I'm going to try to use a little bit of that EDGE method that we always try to talk about in scouting. I'm going to try to explain as I am doing now. I'll demonstrate some parts of the presentations, how I do them. Everybody is going to do it differently. Feel comfortable and put a little bit of yourself into each presentation that you do. I'll be honest with you, every one of my presentations are different. Every unit that I go into is a different and a unique scenario. I try to, if I get into a blue and gold or a Pinewood Derby or just a court of honor or any type of scenario that I get invited to, they're all different. You know, some of the boys are there, grandparents and siblings, and some of them just have the parents there. So you want to incorporate each unique scenario into your program. Get to know that unit leader a little bit, whether it be the Scoutmaster, the Cubmaster, your venture advisor. Get to know them a little bit. Talk to them prior to your presentation. Get them to give their contribution prior to it so that you can explain and let their unit know that their unit leader is very much in support of this program. The presentation that I'm going to do is going to be, for instance, that of a blue and gold in a Cub program, because I loved doing it with the little Cub Scouts. Normally, what I would do would be I would get every one of those Cub Scouts out of that audience and up on a row in front of everybody. And I would have them count off. And I would know then how many number of Cub Scouts I have or how many Scouts I have in the audience. And then I'm going to give them each a brochure that this year we have the card, or their contribution card is attached to the brochure, so they're going to have to disconnect that. But I would hand this to each of the boys. As I am handing it to them, I'm going to ask them, boys, what is your favorite thing that you've done in scouting so far? And you're going to have them tell their parents what is so great about scouting. So we'll go down, and each one of those boys will now have a brochure in their hand, and if they need a pen, I'll give them a pen at the same time. So then I'll get them back into the audience with their parents. So now I have all of these brochures distributed to their parents directly. Whenever everybody turns their flyers in, we're going to give away a patch tonight. So we're going to do a random pull at the end also to give away a patch. So another encouragement for everybody to fill out their brochure and turn them back in. But this is the time now that they're going to be filling out this brochure. So they'll have this in front of them, and it has a lot of information about the program and all of the statistics and stuff of that nature. So they've got that in front of them. So then I would pull the Cubmaster up and tell that Cubmaster, again, I would thank him for his time that he has given to this program. And obviously, with the boys having as much fun as they have, he's doing a wonderful job. Let the people in the audience know that he has already given his contribution. He'll hand me his card that he has already filled out, and then I will engage him in a little bit of competition, along with the families in the audience. These cards are very important to your Cubmaster. He has done all this work with your boys all these years. I'm going to need to have 100% of these cards come back up. I know how many boys we have out there. There's 27 boys or however many there was up there. So we need to have all 27 of these back, and then the Cub Master and your pack will earn their ribbon that they can hang on their flag very proudly for having everybody turn back in their cards. Now, as an individual, I'm only asking you to contribute what it is that you can afford. Everybody knows their own financial situations, and what you can contribute is what we would ask you to. However, we do have milestones. So if you were to contribute $120, how many of you guys have done this before and are in the process of getting the series of all these patches? This year, our scouting patch is clean. So for all of you nice Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts out there that know the Scout law, how many more do we have? Can anybody tell me? Well, let's just stand up. We got clean boys? Stand up. Let's say that Scout law together. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. So we're on clean. So that means there's only one more left. Next year will be the last patch in this series. So for those of you that have been doing this for many years, you've got them all collected. This is very important. So again, $120 donation will get you this patch. And if you want to break it down, it's $10 a month. Can you do $10 a month? You don't have to give any money tonight. It can all just be in a pledge, and it can be billed to you on a monthly, weekly, quarterly, whatever basis works into your finances. So $10 a month, $120 donation will get you the patch this year. And then we also have for $220, which is what council kind of figures up as the cost of one boy to go through the scouting program in a year. So $120, you're basically saying, yes, I can support another boy in this program for a year. Grandparents, aunts, and uncles that are out there, $120, that will get that one scout that can't go through the program. It'll allow him to do so. Now this coin is a unique coin each year that they give out, and it's really kind of cool. The boys always like that. So $220 will get you the coin, and you'll be supporting one scout for the entire year through the program. And then there's a milestone of $600. If you have the luxury of being able to donate $600, what we're going to do this year is we've got 2 patches that we're going to have embroidered, and these you will get for $600 donation. And if you want to come take a look at the patches a little closer, you're more than welcome to come up and eyeball them over, because they are pretty cool. And then as you can tell on your cards, there's you can contribute more. $1,200, which is your Eagle Patrol member, and then they also have $2,500, which is support a day of scouting. So look at that, all of these. And I want everybody to fill out this brochure, this section. In order for the Cub Master, your pack, to get the flyer today to hang on to you, the banner to hang on to your flag, I need everybody to fill this out and turn it in. Even if you cannot contribute, just write on there somewhere, not at this time, or 0 or something. But I would also like you to put down there your scout's name somewhere on there, so that I know which scout to tie this to. Simply because if we have scouts that are chartered with your unit that couldn't make it here tonight, which we do have, I'm sure, some that didn't make it here tonight, we're going to extend this offer to them as well. It would only be fair for them to also get the opportunity to get the patch and the coin and these lovely patches. So, if you put your scout's name on there, then you're not going to get a follow-up letter that we would assume that you didn't make it here. So if your scout's last name is different than yours, please put first and last so that we can tie that all together real neat and clean like that. Because I would hate to bother you twice if we didn't need to. So now for the presenters, at this point, you're going to give a little bit of yourself. Tell a little bit of yourself, why you're doing this, and why they should contribute. What's the purpose, Everybody understands, and everybody was at a point whenever they got that first FOS presentation. Now I've got to sit here and they want more money from me. You need to share a little bit of your personal story with them so that they get past that part and that they open up and contribute a little of something. And for your presenters that, this may not be one of your comfortable parts as to trying to collect money for the FOS presentations, but this is where you share your story, and it makes what you're doing at this, in my opinion, I feel like I am sharing scouting with them and not just simply asking them for money. You're encouraging them to fill out their pamphlets and get them filled out, and while they're doing that, I usually will go ahead and say, I've introduced myself, and my name, if you didn't remember again, is Marty Borchers, and I am your district chair for Old Sycamore. And I am a volunteer. I feel that that's very important for you guys to know, because this is not something that I get paid to do. This is something that I do because I feel that it is a very important program. Personally, I am a mother of 3 Eagle Scouts. My sons, grew up through the program, but it wasn't something that I really wanted them to do. Everybody has that story where your son comes home from school with this flyer that they want to join Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts. And that happened a little bit like that for me, but not quite, because I had a son, my oldest son, when he was in the 5th grade, was very misbehaving, and he was in trouble quite an awful lot. And it was actually at the recommendation of the principal, who himself was an Eagle Scout, that got me involved in the scouting program. I had 3 boys. I had no daughters. So when they all wanted to be in the scouting program, I had to decide, do I want to spend time with my boys, or would I rather not participate in the program myself? And I felt that the time with my boys was a very important thing for me to do. And so I chose to become involved in the Boy Scouts and the Cub Scouts and in the venture program. I've been in all 3 levels of it, and now I'm on the district level. And people ask me, and even my sons will ask me, why am I doing this, Mom? We've been out of Scouts for so long. And I simply will look at them and say, when you were in the program, there was somebody doing what I'm doing now for these young boys that are going through this program. And had not that person done what they did back then, you wouldn't have had the opportunity that you have. It's my turn to give back. I know you hear that an Eagle Scout is always an Eagle Scout and you always give back more than what you receive. As a parent, I feel that's just as important too. So that's why I do what I do. And I hope that at some point, I'm touching some lives that makes a difference. And every day as my boys grow older and their friends that went through the program grows older and they come back, I know that what I'm doing makes a difference. So after you tell your story to the audience a little bit and ask them if they've wrapped up their filling out of their pledges, and then it's time for you to call those boys back up. So you'll wait a little bit and get them all back, and if you have, until you get all 27 back or however many, then your presentation is over. You don't let it linger. Don't let them sit out there and not fill them out. It's very important to tell them at the beginning that every one of them needs to come back up, so they start filling them out at that point. And then after you've got them all of the pledges, and you've got all those boys back up there, don't let them go back down, because once again, you want to have them thank their parents for what it is that they do and letting them be in this program, because it's a really important connection between that, because not very often does that happen. And while you have the boys up there, you want to have those den leaders stand up and bring them up as well and recognize them at that time. What a prime time when you got all those parents out there. That makes them feel good as well. So, and then you're going to take all of the pledge cards that you've got, and you're going to take them in the back room and start calculating and figuring out how much you have, how many of your patches, coins, and things of that nature that you're going to have to give out. And it's real important that if you don't have all of those things, write down next to the people that you do give them out so that we can always follow back up with those ones that didn't receive it. Because what you don't want to have is, 3 months later, or actually the next year when you go back and you do the other presentation, and then these people say, well, I gave last year and I never got anything. So the paperwork that you do that night is real important as well, to make sure that we have all of the boys that were there get what their parents had contributed. So once you've got that all calculated back up, and then usually at the end of the program, you'll be invited back up so that you can hand those out.